Crochet an adorable heart the easy way. Who knew granny squares could be this sweet? Hi, it's Krista at The Secret Yarnery. Today we are making these super cute, easy granny square center hearts. For my hearts, I just used size 4 worsted weight acrylic, but you could use any yarn you have on hand. Just use whatever hook size is suggested on the yarn label. I'm using a 6mm crochet hook for mine. You'll also need a needle for sewing in your ends and a pair of scissors. Here are the timestamps. You can jump back into where you left off, and let's get started. To start, we're going to make a magic ring. So to make a magic ring, hold that tail over your non-dominant hand and just hold it on your ring finger with your thumb. Wrap it around 2 fingers, making an X, and bring it around your 3rd finger, also just holding it underneath your thumb. Turn your hand over. You will have a short strand and a long strand. Slide your crochet hook, hook side facing down, underneath the short strand and on top of the long strand. Bring your yarn under and point the hook towards yourself. Release your thumb a little bit so that long strand can slide. As you turn your hook away from yourself, underneath that long strand, pinch everything underneath your hook and slide that yarn through the loop. And there is your magic ring. If you would rather do a chain 3 ring, you are welcome to do that as well. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And 2 double crochets into the center of the ring going over your tail. Our chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. So 2 double crochets into the center of the ring, working over your tail. Chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the center of our ring, going over our tail. So this is the basic granny square start. If you've made a granny square before, that is what we are doing right now. So there is 3 more double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring going over your tail. There's 1, 2, and 3. Chain 2 again, and 3 more double crochets into the center of our ring. We need 4 sides for our granny square. So 3 more double crochets into the center of the ring. If I'm going too fast or too slow, you can speed me up or slow me down just by hitting that gear on the video right there. So there's our 4 sides, 1, 2, 3, and 4 sets of double crochets. Chain 1, and now we can shrink that magic ring shut, so just pull that tail, and you can close up that center. And we're going to make a single crochet to join. So right into the top of our chain, we want 2 strands of that chain on the top of our hook, 1 single crochet to join. That's going to leave us in the middle of our corner. We want to hide our join as best we can. Just pop your finger into that space in between those sets of 3 double crochets just to mark where that corner space is, and chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Now into that very same space where our finger is, 2 double crochets. Our chain counts as our first double crochet, so this counts as our first set of 3. If you're new to crochet, you can go ahead and pop a stitch marker into that same space just to mark where the end of our round is. Into the next corner space, or the next space right here, we're going to do a corner. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets, all into the same corner space. So corners get corners. This is still a standard granny square pattern. So there's my first 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 more double crochets into that same corner space, And if you are running out of space, you can slide those stitches back to give yourself some more room. You want your double crochets laying side by side. Just like that. So we're going to do the same thing into the next 2 corners. Each of these spots is getting a corner. Corners, 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, all into the same corner space. So you can pause the video and get caught up if you're new to crochet or if I'm crocheting faster than you. If you'd like to follow along with a written pattern, all of my patterns are available on my website, secretyarnery.com, and all of my patterns are written in plain English, just like I was sitting there right beside you. So we have one more corner left. So 3 double crochets, chain 2, and 3 double crochets into that same corner space. Chain 2, and 3 more double crochets. There we go. Now our next spot, that's where our stitch marker is. We can pop that stitch marker out. But into that same space, we're going to finish off the corner where we started. So 3 double crochets into the same space where we began. 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to join in the same way, so chain 1, and we're going to make a single crochet into the top of the chain to join, right there. Just pop your hook in and make 1 single crochet to join, and you can just wiggle your finger in to hold that corner space open to mark where it is. And chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. This counts as our first double crochet, and we're going to make 2 more double crochets into that same corner space. There is 1 and 2 into the next space right here along the side, 3 double crochets into that space along the side. 1, 2, and 3. And into our corner space, we are going to do 3 half double crochets. So wrap your yarn and then wrap and take off all 3 loops. So 3 half double crochets. And 1 double crochet, all into the same spot. There we go. Now into the next space, we're going to do the top of our heart, or the first bump of our heart. So we're going to do 11 treble crochets. So wrap your yarn twice, and into that space along the side, this side space, 11 treble crochets. So there is our first one. Wrap your yarn twice, and make your 11. So there's 2, 3. You can pause the video and make your 11 treble crochets, just like that. And we're going to slip stitch into this corner space. So we want to pin down the top of our heart. So into that corner space, 1 slip stitch. That's all we're doing, 1 slip stitch. Now into the next corner space. Now into the next space along the side, right there, we're going to do our 11 treble crochets. So wrap your yarn twice and into that space along the side, 11 treble crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If you're running out of room, you can push those stitches back a little bit and see if you can get some more space along the side there. 8, 9, 10, and 11. So don't worry if it's kind of wobbly and ripply. We need that. Now into the next space, it's a corner space right here. We're going to do 1 double crochet. So just 1 double crochet. And 3 half double crochets into the same space. 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now into the space along the side, the next space right here, 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. And now into the space where we began our row, we're just going to finish off the bottom of our heart. So 3 double crochets into that space at the bottom, right where we began. 2, and 3. Chain 2. And now we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain to join. Going to slip stitch right into the top of that chain. You could do an invisible join if you want to, but just slip stitch 2 strands of that chain on the top of your hook. Chain 1 to secure your yarn. Cut your yarn, leaving a long enough tail to sew in with a needle. Pull your hook up and your yarn through and snug that down to secure. You want to make sure that you sew in your center tail. So you're going to thread your needle and go around that center in one direction and then go back in the opposite direction, just to make sure that center stays shut, and then sew in your other tail just back down along and underneath some of these stitches where it's nice and fat down there. So there is your super cute, fast, easy crochet granny square heart. So I hope you liked this tutorial as much as I did. I'm waiting for you in that video up there, and stay hooked.